Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Ultra Anime. I'm back at it with a My Hero What If. Now, as you guys actually saw in the thumbnail, of course, this is What If Izuku was a beast. Now, guys, I just finished watching Dragon Ball Superheroes, and let me just say this, guys. Gohan, Beast Gohan, legit is actually my favorite now. Like, oh my god. And don't get me started on actually Yellow Piccolo and Orange Piccolo. Like, that fight scene was awesome. I love the movie how it was actually focusing on just Gohan and Piccolo, because I think they did need actually to show some love to them two characters, of course. Cause like, oh my god, the Dragon Ball Super, I actually want Gohan to get a new form. Like, his actually ultimate form was actually cool. Now his beast form, Beast Gohan Beast, yeah, that's actually kind of awesome. So I decided to make like, oh, what if Izuku was actually like Gohan's reincarnation? And I remember Zeta actually kind of made that. So I needed to make a new one, and I thought, oh wait, maybe I should make it kind of like Zeta's one, like where he actually did it with Ultra Ego. And I kind of wanted to mix up, so that's what I'm actually going with. So this is what if Izuku was actually a beast, of course. Now, it won't be like the beast Gohan, because like if it was actually kind of beast Gohan, he will actually just solo the whole verse in just actually one part. So yeah, it's gonna be a heavily downgraded, but still OP as hell. Without further ado, let's get this video started. Now we actually start off at actually middle school. While we used to actually see Zuko just in his classroom, and he just writing in his notebooks about actually heroes. The door will open while the teacher will walk in holding actually some papers. As he would just say like, okay class, I already have the papers of what you're gonna do next year. But he would immediately throw the papers up in the air, and he would say like, of course I know all you guys want to be heroes. Everybody would start using that quirk aside from two people. And Bakugo would actually say like, come on Teach, don't look me in with these losers. They'll probably be actually listed as a D rank actually hero. As everybody would say like, you think you're better than us, Koski? As the teacher would look and he'd say like, oh, Bakugo, you actually applied to have to go to UA. Everybody would say like, wow, really? Bakugo would say like, yes, of course. I'm gonna be the most powerful hero, of course, of this actually time. And also be the richest one, even cooler than even All Might. And let me just say, like, your boy, this teacher did your boy Deku dirty. As I actually kind of actually would say that was actually kind of disrespectful. You know, this guy is actually quirkless, and he would just say like, "Oh, Izuku, you want to go to UA too?" Everybody would look at him, and immediately they would just start laughing. As original Bakugo would actually just jump on Izuku's table, saying that he doesn't have a chance to be actually in actually UA, that he'd probably die in just the entrance exam. As we pretty much time skipped to where it was actually pretty much home time. While Izuku would pack up his things, while Bakugo would actually take Izuku's notebook, and original who would actually start taunting him, as pretty much he would just burn his notebook while throwing it out the window. Now this will kind of be the start of Izuku's awakening on his beast instinct. Izuku would get so mad that he was even preparing to even punch Bakugo. As Bakugo sees it, he's like, go ahead, do it, nerd. I dare you. But the moment Izuku would look into Bakugo's eyes, and he would kind of feel afraid, so he would not actually do it. Bakugo would have to call it Izuku like the P word, as I don't want to get demonetized. So he pretty much actually just headbutt Izuku, right? As Izuku would fall towards the ground, and he would just pretty much walk away with his lackeys, and he would say like, huh, go take a swan dive off a roof building if you want to quicken your next life. Izuku would actually go outside to find his notebook, and he would pretty much call Bakugo a jerk. As originally, he would take the same pathway that he did underneath the bridge, where he would actually kind of find the Sludge Villain. The Sludge Villain would actually emerge from the sewers, and he would actually leech onto Izuku. And he would actually say like, kid, give me a body. And he know he was actually in town today. Zuko would actually try to actually struggle to get out of the sludge venom, but he immediately just started to suffocate as he started to actually lose air and his vision started to go blurry. Just out of nowhere, All Might would just come out of the sewers and say like, have no fear, for I am here. Texas Smash! He would actually just Texas Smash the sludge venom, splatter him all over the wall, and Zuko would say like, All Might, before passing out. As about like a minute would pass, Zuko would actually be woken up by All Might slapping him on the face. As he would just say like, young man, are you okay? You want me to call a doctor? And Zuko would say like, All Might, it's you! Ah, so you actually are alive. Good thing. Well, I should actually kind of thank you for keeping my actually kind of occupied. My actually bad. He will actually put the sludge venom in the bottle, of course, and he will actually just say farewell to Zuko. And Zuko said, "Oh my, I actually kind of want your this autograph." Gee, that was weird. As All Might would say like, "Already signed the kid." As Zuko would look in his notebook, and he said like, "Oh, awesome! I have to know when he was autographed." As All Might would say like, "Farewell, kid. I really need to go." But if Zuko would actually leech on to actually not Zuko, All Might's actually leg, as Zuko, All Might would jump just into the sky. While he's jumping, right, he would actually notice that Zuko was actually on his leg. As immediately he started to actually say like, kid, this is actually getting dangerous. He would start to push actually him off, but Zuko would say like if he actually does let go, he would actually fall and die. All Might would actually land on a nearby roof. As originally, we would just have the same old talk from actually the anime, where he would actually ask All Might if he can become a hero without a quirk, and there All Might would show his actually true form. The whole talk would have to kind of play similar, of course, and All Might would have to say to Zuko that he can't become a hero without a quirk, that he should just become a policeman or a firefighter, and to stay away from the hero career. Now, pretty much, what All Might actually basically just leaves, and Zuko just walking actually home, thinking what All Might would actually just said. He would just say like, he might be right, of course. So, original, like the sludge venom would actually attack, Bakugo would actually be captured, and the whole scene, right? This whole scene will actually play out normally in actually canon, where if Zuko would go try to save Bakugo, All Might would come in, and he basically would save Zuko and Deku. Deku would get scolded by the other heroes, while Bakugo would actually get praise, of course. Now, this is where I'm kind of gonna do something quite actually evil here, guys. Now, All Might is gonna be a dick in this actually part. This one part, not for the rest of the video, but just in this one part, right? Now, once actually Zuko is actually just walking home, he would just run into All Might, say like, All Might! And All Might would just say like, you got yourself into a lot of trouble there. I told you. Without a quirk, you're just nothing. You can't actually become... Oh, sorry guys, I have to pause the video just there, but All Might would just say like, yeah, that he would just get himself killed in this line of work, that he should just give up on his dreams, that he cannot become a hero. But he would actually commend Zuko for his bravery, but still at the same time, what he did was basically stupid, and to not pursue his actually hero's dreams. This is where All Might would just leave, and leaving a broken Zuko just standing there, and like he was actually just thinking that maybe I should just give up. Maybe I can't become a hero. Even All Might said so. Now we pretty much time skip to about a week, of course. Zuko will be out shopping with his mom, just normally picking up groceries. Zuko will be gloomier than ever. He would just actually just be lifeless. His eyes would just be lifeless. Inko sees this and she tries to cheer Zuko by actually grabbing the ingredients to make his favorite food, curry and rice. Great, guys should try it. But like, she couldn't. He was just so sad. As they were actually paying, just a villain attack would actually happen, as pretty much is the guy from the USJ. He would just actually say like, put your hands up, right? The guy with actually the guns, actually fingers. He would actually to actually freeze and to not call the heroes that he will actually kill anybody here who actually tries to do anything funny. He will ask the lady from the counter to put the money in the bag, which she will actually do. Everyone will be so afraid that one guy tried to play hero, as immediately, he just shot the guy. Well, pretty much like what he would actually just take Inko hostage. Well, Deku would say like, "Mom," and he would just say like, "Everybody actually move. This actually girl actually gets it." the Inko was saying, please, just leave me alone. I don't want to die. But like, heck, he would just like, shut up. The guy actually again wanted to actually play hero. This random guy who actually tried to attack the villain from behind, but immediately he gets shot. Inko tried to run away, but immediately this guy just shoots Inko in the back, right? Inko will fall down to the ground and Zuku's eyes would widen. And this would kind of be the birth and the awakening of Zuku's beast instinct. That's what I'm going to be calling it. Zuku would see his mom bleeding on the ground as memories of actually her and him would flash between his eyes, as this is where, kind of like Gohan scene where he actually kind of unlocked Super Saiyan 2, will be exactly like that. Zuku would actually go and he would let out a roar, and this is where he will actually start to transform. Immediately a aura will surround Zuku, blowing everybody away, including actually the villain, of course. And in about like a few minutes, they will actually gain their balance as they will look towards the direction where this immense power came from. As they will actually see Zuku there with his white hair, red eyes, crazy aura, as he will just be standing there looking at the villain, as the villain will say like, what the heck is that? He will prepare to actually aim his gun at Zuku, but Zuku would appear right in front of the villain, punching him straight into the face, sending him flying towards actually buildings, of course, several buildings, knocking this guy out. Probably even killing him, who knows. As pretty much once everybody was actually clapping for Zuku, they were basically like clapping and applauding him like, yo, you did good, like he is actually so awesome. Zuku didn't actually care. He would just look towards his actually mom and say like, oh yeah, she's basically fine, like things like that, of course. Zuku would actually go and ask, like, say like if his mom's actually okay, like, mom, are you okay? Inko would actually look towards Zuku, she would just be shocked, like, please don't hurt me, who are you? And Zuku was like, mom, it's me, it's Zuku. Don't lie! My son has green hair, emerald eyes, he doesn't look anything like that. You're like a beast! Zuko will say like, huh? He will look at himself at the reflection, of course, like kind of like a broken mirror or whatever, and he will actually kind of see that he has white hair, red eyes, and he has this crazy aura. And he was like, what the heck? What happened? Immediately the adrenaline will actually leave Zuko's body as he will de-transform. And Inko was like, but Zuku, is that really you? You're back to normal with your green hair. Zuko would look at the mirror again, he's like, wait, he's actually back to normal. The hero will come as they will actually kind of like check if everybody was actually alright. They will actually take Inko to the hospital and also to with Zuku. Once they're there, once Inko actually was actually kind of healed up, they immediately went to actually do a quick actually check on actually Zuku. Like if Zuku's actually quick actually awakened. As the doctor was running some tests, he would come back to where he would actually say like, sorry, Mrs. Midoriya, but we did some tests and it seems like your son doesn't even have a quirk. The Zuko said like, how's that possible? My hair turned white and things like that. I was so strong that I punched a villain towards a wall. Several walls, of course. Even Inko actually kind of agreed, yeah, she saw her son doing actually that. He has white hair. The doctor said like, yeah, that's the thing. We actually did some tests and we think that Zuko has some kind of hidden powers. Maybe it might not be a quirk, probably it might be the evolution of actually his quirk awakening, because actually quirks nowadays, like, they're actually quite evolving, so yeah, it's hard to keep track. As they actually kind of mocked Izuku to have a quirk, because like they actually did some tests. They did see that Izuku from the store, he had super strength, of course, his hair did actually went white, and like they kind of just wrote down that Izuku has a quirk and they would call it Beast Instinct. As Izuku would be happy, saying like, I finally have a quirk! I finally have a quirk! And for the 10 months of actually training, Izuku would train 10 times harder, of course. He would train 10 times harder to unlock his beast instinct, of course. About 5 months will pass, Izuku will already have his season 3 body built already. As he will just be in Dekia Beach, as he will be already lifting up a fridge, that this was actually the last piece of actually trash that was actually on the beach as he just threw it in towards a garbage truck while they took it away. Izuku would just look around to see, yeah, it was actually pretty much of a nice beach, but he would immediately go down towards his knees and he would just start hitting the ground. Damn it, damn it, damn it! It's been about freaking 5 months and I can't unlock my quirk. This is just useless. It's pathetic. Maybe they're all right. Maybe I don't have a quirk. Maybe I'm just hallucinating. Like, oh, I can't actually talk today. Jeez. Maybe I should just give up. Like All Might would say, I'm so freaking useless. He would start punching the ground. Eventually, he would kind of make a hole for himself, of course. As Izuku was actually punching the ground for the last time, immediately just like red or kind of like white lightning would start surrounding Izuku. Izuku would see this as he would say like, huh? What's this? As he would climb out from the hole that he actually just made and he would just see like his whole body was covered in lightning. And he looked at himself in the reflection of the water. His eyes, they turned red, but his hair was flicking white. As it would just suddenly just disappear. As Izuku just had a thought. He was going about it wrong. Maybe he needs to get pretty much angry, of course. Anger to actually unlock this actually quirk of his. Maybe he just needs to actually get angry for him to actually properly like awaken his quirk. And so that's what Izuku did for the 5 months. Izuku was actually saying that he was actually like quirkless, of course. He had so much anger built up inside of him. And it actually did work for the like he actually kind of locked like the first stage of actually Izuku's beast instinct, of course. Like the first stage he kind of unlocked his red eyes, of course, as he was able to see clearly, while also it did kind of increase his strength by a small bit, but not by a lot, of course. As more time would pass, and he would actually unlock the second stage, and it was the lightning stage, his aura, of course. And his aura was so immense that he was so strong that pretty much he was able to punch away a tree just like that. As he did unlock the final stage, the third stage, the white hair, but Izuku was only able to do that once, and that was only for a split 1 second. That he had to think of something really emotional, like something really emotional for him to unlock that stage. But Izuku can actually activate the first and second stage, but the third stage, he can't. So the 10 months of training will actually will be over, as Izuku will be already at the USA entrance exam. Now Izuku will be wearing black trousers, a white shirt, a black jacket with actually a white shoe with this white scarf. As he will just be tall, Izuku will be kind of ripped, of course. He'll be really ripped. As he was walking into to the USA, to the entrance exam, sorry, he doesn't actually trip, not this time. And I'm going to skip through the written part because there's no point of me going through it. As when it gets to actually to the practical, well, President Mike will actually give the presentation about the 1 pointer, the 2 pointers, and the 3 pointers, of course, everything like that. And Ida will actually go through the same old. And Izuku doesn't have to get caught out here because seeing that he's kind of changed, he's not the same Izuku, of course. So we pretty much actually fast forward all the way to where Izuku is at training ground A, like City A. As Izuku is actually there, everybody was just looking at him because Izuku is actually kind of ripped. Izuku was just getting himself ready. He was just actually kind of getting himself motivated, thinking about like how pretty much he deserves to be here. All this training that he actually did, like it was totally worth it. He was ready to prove everybody wrong, to prove everybody, including Bago, that he can become a hero, to prove to All Might that he can be a hero. As immediately the door would open, Izuku would just rush outside, not waiting for even a bell to ring. He would be already the first one outside, already racking up points. Everybody would be looking at him like completely insane, while President Mike was saying like, what are you doing? There's no way to counter this hero exam. Follow that green-haired kid. Go, 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 go. They would immediately go chase after Izuku, but Izuku was already far ahead. He was already racking up 1 points, 2 points, 3 points, as he was already on a roll. About 10 minutes will pass, Izuku will already have 200 feelings points, as he would just be actually chilling on top of the roof, just be casually looking at the rest of them. As As immediately the ground will actually start to shake, as everybody will actually just start to fall on their bottoms, as they will just see the 0 pointer emerge from the ground. Everybody will immediately just start to run, saying that it was a 0 pointer. Izuku was just about to leave, seeing that the 0 pointer, like, it actually was 0 points, but immediately Izuku can actually hear somebody crying for help, as it was actually Uraraka stuck underneath some rubbles, as she was crying out for somebody to save her, and things like that, while people were just passing by her. Izuku will immediately have a flashback of actually like the day that he awakened his beast instinct, the day that he thought his mother was actually dead. And this scene was playing right now in front of Izuku, that she was about to get crushed by the 0 pointer. Izuku will immediately just activate his beast instinct, his third stage, completely with great speed. He will rush towards the 0 pointer, jumping up in the air, completely one punching the actually 0 pointer right in his face, and completely the 0 pointer will be destroyed, completely like he will be blown up. The 0 pointer will just blow up. That's what I'm actually gonna say, right? As everybody will be watching this in just complete awe that this kid just destroyed the 0 pointer with just one punch. As we put him a time skip, as Izuku would be walking home, as he eventually would kind of be feeling proud of himself, that he kind of actually thinks that he did great in the heroes after exam. As Izuku is actually waiting at home in his room for the letter from actually Yue, hoping that he actually got in, as Inko will rush towards Izuku's room, saying that a letter came from Yue. Izuku will actually grab the letter, as he will go into his room as he will read the letter. As a hologram of Nezu will actually tell Izuku how he actually passed the hero's exams, the written exam and also the practical. Well, the practical, Izuku got actually about 200 villain points and actually 60 rescue points, and he will be actually in class 1A. Izuku will be cheering like, yes, I finally did it! He did it! Inko will actually rush into his room and say like, you did it, son? And the two of them will be hugging, of course, as Inko will say that he will make Izuku's favorite food, curry. Now, we pretty much actually fast forward all the way to where Izuku is actually in UA, as he's looking at his classroom, class 1A, as the door was so huge. Izuku would take in one actually deep breath, and he would just walk right in. As he will actually see Bakugo and Ida, the same original in canon. And Izuku doesn't actually really care. This is a different Izuku. He doesn't actually care about this whole scene. Izuku will go and find his seat that he will sit down, while Ida, he will see Deku and he will actually kind of introduce himself as original from the anime and things like that. And eventually Eraserhead will come in his classroom and he will just say like, alright class, you're here to actually make some friends and you can go home. But if you're here to become heroes, follow me outside. As Uraraka would say like, so what about presentation? I don't do presentations. I can do whatever I want. Now follow me or you will actually face the consequences. As everybody will follow Eraserhead outside, as he will actually explain the whole ball trope. As pretty much he would throw the ball towards Izuku, and seeing that Izuku had the higher points, he actually told Izuku to use his full potential, his full power, of course, to not hold back. Izuku will actually nod as he will actually step into the circle, and he will activate the first and second stage to his beast instinct, and immediately he will chuck the ball, and it will actually send a gush of wind pushing everyone backwards, as the ball will actually be out of sight, as pretty much Eraserhead will actually need to regain his balance, and once he actually did, he will actually look at his phone to see Izuku got actually about like 8,600 actually like meters, of course, whatever. As everybody will be actually kind of shocked, as Eraserhead will look towards Izuku and his eyes would start glowing red. He would wrap Izuku in his hero scarf and he would say to Izuku, why did he not use his full actually like strength? As Izuku would actually say like, well, what do you mean? Don't play dumb with me. You think you're actually better than everyone here? You think you want to show off? I told you to use your full strength. The one that you did after USJ where your hair turned white. Why did you not do it here? Izuku will be now looking at Eraserhead face to face as his eyes would now go red. And Eraserhead was kind of feeling afraid now. As Izuku would say like, well, For your information, Razorhead, it really want me to actually use actually my full strength. I actually can't. I only activate when actually at a certain actually stage, if I'm actually in danger or something like that. And plus the my full strength is actually kind of like I don't have fully control over my quirk. And even if I even activate it, my aura alone would actually kill or probably cause a lot of damage to the surrounding area. So if you really want to be responsible and have blood on your hands for letting a student activate his quirk where he has no fully control, be my guest. And Razorhead would kind of be surprised but also shocked at the same time. As he kind of let Deku go and he would say like, fine. As everybody would kind of be happy saying like, oh great, we get to use that quirk. As Razorhead would say like, okay fine, seeing that you think this is fun, whoever scored last would actually be expelled from actually UA. As they actually said to Razorhead saying that he can't do that. And Razorhead said like he can do whatever he wants and he will. And he done it before. So the whole test will go original as normal. Now, seeing that Deku is kind of strong here, he will kind of ace most of the tests, of course. The actual grip test, the running test, the long jump, the side by side. Izuku will ace them all. As pretty much the score will come in to where first place will be actually Izuku, second place Momo, and the last place will be actually Mineta. And Razorhead will actually joke around saying that pretty much nobody was actually going to get expelled. As he would just tell the class that they can actually just go home for today. I'll be pretty much fast forward all the way to actually the next day as Izuku was actually in class. As he was just actually kind of waiting for who actually teaches that he actually has for actually this class. As he's actually waiting, All Might would come through the door. He would say like, I'm coming through the door like a normal person. And he would bust down the door. Everybody would say like, it's All Might. We have All Might as a teacher. Everybody would just start fangirling over All Might. Besides from Izuku would actually kind of feel the rage building up inside of him. He started clenching his fist, and as his fist would, eventually he would just start to bleed from his fist, of course, by squeezing his fist too hard. As pretty much he would start scratching the desk, kind of the desk, his actually table started to crack. All Might would press one button and he would actually kind of say like, well, pretty much we can't become heroes if you don't have hero costumes. As Izuku, once he sees his hero costume, he would kind of calm down. As All Might would tell him to meet him at training ground actually Beta, as he would just run out there. Now, Izuku's hero costume is going to be different. Now, Izuku's hero costume is going to be the same as Goku's Black from Dragon Ball Heroes, guys. Like, pretty much the same exact outfit as Goku Black. Because Izuku didn't want to go crazy. He kind of wanted to keep it simple but also heroic at the same time. So kind of like Goku's Black outfit from Dragon Ball Heroes, that's Izuku's hero costume. So once they meet All Might, everybody would see Izuku's costume and heck, they get to see his muscles. Like this guy was actually built. This guy was actually his muscle was showing. Like this guy was actually totally ripped. Some of the girls just started to blush, of course, while the guys would just say like, damn, this guy goes to the gym. This guy goes to the gym. This guy's on steroids. All Might will actually explain that pretty much that they will be playing a game, Heroes versus Villains. As he will actually explain the whole thing that two people are actually the villains and two people are actually the heroes, and yada yada yada. Everybody will actually pick a number as the heroes team will be Izuku and Uraraka, and the villains will be Bakugo and actually Tenya Ira. He will actually tell them that the villains have 30 minutes to set up the bomb while the heroes have to think of a plan. Now, Uraraka and actually Izuku will actually form a plan, and eventually 30 minutes will actually pass as they will actually enter the building. Izuku will tell Uraraka to go for the bomb while he handled Bakugo. As he's actually walking, Bakugo will come out from the corner. He was just there, pick up, bitch! As he would throw an explosion towards Izuku. Izuku would actually cover himself while the explosion would actually hit him. As once the dust would actually go away, he would just see Izuku just pretty much standing there, a little bit injured. And once Izuku opens his eyes, it's red. And Izuku is just feeling true rage. he would just go and grab Bakugo and slam him towards actually the wall, and he would just knock the wind out of Bakugo, knocking him out. While Rocket would get the bomb, as pretty much the heroes team would actually win. As I would actually commend the team, the heroes for actually forming a good plan, and also to take out the villains super quickly before they could cause any damage, while not killing them, of course. Now, we pretty much actually fast forward all the way in class where Eraserhead would actually tell them that they had to pick a class president. As original, Izuku and Momo are actually elected to be class president. As Izuku, as we fast forward all the way to actually lunchtime, while Izuku was actually eating lunch by himself. As he's eating, Momo and Jiro will actually ask Izuku if he can actually join them. Izuku said sure, as they can actually talk for a bit, saying how awesome Izuku really was in the heroes versus villain, and Izuku told them that they actually did great actually themselves. As immediately the alarm would actually be ringing, saying that a level 3 alert that villains has now entered the school. Everybody would now be actually kind of screaming, trying to get out, as Izuku and Momo and Jiro would be the only one not leaving the seat. They were just thinking wait, villains are now entering the school? Wait, that doesn't make sense. There are heroes here, pro heroes here, and also students who are training to be heroes. So they would look outside to see it was only just the press, and Izuku would decide saying oh, freaking idiots. As Izuku would actually press the fire alarm, well, kind of the alarm just stopped, of course, for the level 3 alert, as immediately the fire sprinkler would be activated and everybody would be soaked in water. As Izuku asked Momo to trade him a microphone, which Momo actually did. As Izuku would just start to speak towards the microphone, and he would just tell them to actually calm down, that it was only the press, and he actually told them how pathetic they're pretty much acting, that they are the future heroes for this actually nation, that they should start acting like it, that if there's a hero, if this was actually a real villain actually attack, they would have all been dead. As pretty much everybody would be kind of embarrassed from what Izuku would be what Izuku said, that pretty much they were actually training to be heroes, of course, as they were acting like this pretty much amateurs, freaking idiots. So they would just go back to class as hey, and it'll be just the end of the day, as we pretty much fast forward to the next day, as Razorhead would tell them that they will be going to the USJ. As everybody's on the bus, everybody will be talking about how awesome that quirk really is, and once it gets to Izuku actually just explains out how he doesn't really know what his quirk really is, but it's actually called Beast Instinct, that pretty much his quirk makes him like a beast, has the strength of a beast, crazy abilities of course, and so on. Eventually they will make it towards actually the USJ, and there they will meet actually 13. And 13 will go all about how freaking quirks can be dangerous, how it can easily kill someone. And Izuku was kind of paying attention, because that is actually his actually quirk, his beast instinct, the third stage of it, how easily he can kill someone. Now as 13 is actually talking about it, how quirks can be dangerous, immediately a portal will be opened up, as villains will be surrounding the whole USJ. As out of actually the portal, Shigaraki will actually just say Kirigiri, we finally arrived. Now let's see if these pro heroes bleed. Now I'm gonna be ending the what if actually here, guys. If you guys actually like this actually part, get this video up to about 20 actually likes, and I'll be creating actually part 2 of actually this what if. Now I'm gonna be making a change here. I'm gonna be giving Izuku 2 abilities, of course. No, kind of 3 abilities. I'm gonna give Izuku Special Beam Cannon, Masenko, and his Kamehameha. Those are the 3 abilities that I'll be giving Izuku. And I know they're gonna be downgraded, because if it was actually the original one, Izuku would be able to destroy the whole planet. So they're going to be downgraded. So without further ado, I'm logging out. It's your boy Ultra Anime, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.